I'll take you there. Oh, let me take you there. Baby, play your piano now. All right. Come on now, play on it, play on it. Daddy now, daddy, daddy, daddy. Ooh, oh, all right now, baby, little baby, need you here, help me out. Come on, little baby. All right. Dum, 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 dum. Doing something so I know a place, y'all. I'll take you there. Ain't nobody crying. I'll take you there. Ain't nobody worried. I'll take you there. No smiling faces. I'll take you there. Like to the rain. I'll take you there. Oh, I'll take you there. Oh, I'll take you there. Mercy now. I'll take you there. I'm calling for mercy. I'll take you there. Mercy, mercy. I'll take you there. I'll take you there. Oh, I'll take you there. I wanna take you there. Just take me by my hand. Let me see the way. Oh, I'll take you there. Let me take you there. I'll take you there. Let me take you there. I'll take you there. Ain't no smiling faces. I'll take you there. Up in here, oh, in the jury. I'll take you there. You got to let me. I'll take you there. Take you on the line. I'll take you there. Oh, all right. I'll take you there. Oh, all right. I'll take you there. Oh, I'll take you there. Oh, yeah, I'll take you there. Oh, yeah, I'll take you there.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning. How are you today?
Excellent. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. You're listening to 106.1 Praise FM, and we are broadcasting live for Concord Baptist Church today. And I am dialing in, and you are listening to I Know a Place, and I Want to Take You There. And this is Jamie Critz. Good morning, Dr. Jones. Again, you're doing excellent.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good morning. Good morning, Baltimore. Good morning, Delaware. Good morning, D.C. Good morning, America. Good morning. It's indeed a blessing to come to you this morning. I know a place, and I'll take you there. A place where no crying, no worrying, no line face, whatever. First off, I'd like to say salute to Mabel Staples, who introduced this song, and this has such special meanings to me because it tells me about the place that I know and where I came from, and that's what I've been trying to let people know, that I know a place, like she was saying there, and it was a place of where I grew up. We were working for ourselves on the farm. It was a lot of us, and we had a great time working together, experiencing care and support and expectations from each other. Our parents laying the foundation by which we must measure up to, and at every stage of our lives, they had special standards by which we were expected to measure up to. I know there were instances where they had to go, leave the farm, and leave us kind of in charge. And when they leave us in charge, they had to go do businesses at Helena. Helena was about 55 miles away from the farm, and they would go to do business, but they had expectations for us. When they returned in that evening, there was things that we supposed to have gotten done. And it was really a whole lot of activities and fun and stuff and challenges, and we had all kind of fun getting it done, because sometimes we waited almost until the last minute, so we had to really push it. But we made sure that what they expected us to have done, we had it done. And this is what we are talking about. We're talking about setting a standard by which we, a standard of expectation for what we believe that the church should be done, what the community should be done, and what each of us, the businesses, so we started off talking about bringing these churches and the community and the business together and working together, and mentorship to individuals in your congregation and in the community. We talked about the value of especially the black church and the community, the value that the church has had for years, the role that the church played in our lives and in the community, and the motivation and the strength that they gave in making sure that we maintain and pull together. That was the major role of the church in the period of segregation. The unity was was done by the sources of the church, and this is why in the 60s it was Martin Luther King and the churches and the stuff that were involved in bringing those new standards, or what we call created the new standards, the new laws, the new principles, and the marching and the protesting and standing up for what they felt that need to be done, and the rights that it was the church that led that kind of experience and that movement. So we are challenging once again the churches. There's a place that I know that we want to take you, and I believe, and I grew up. Matter of fact, when I grew up, if it didn't happen at the church, it just didn't happen. We had all of our activities at the church, our games, our youth department, our functions. We had all kind of contests. We had local contests that we involved in, and we had contests in the cities that we were involved. We went to our county against other counties, how we contested them in rules and regulations and identifying farm equipment, and we would demonstrate how to drive tractors, and how we had all kind of illustrations. They had contests against other areas that we had to meet and do. It was an amazing experience. Matter of fact, it was 14 of us, and it was 7 older than me and 6 younger than me, so I was kind of like in the center. And as a result of being in the center, I ended up, of course, being the administrator of all of the operation, even until this day. So we thank God for what He has illustrated in my life. And I believe that if we work as a team, and this is what we are trying to motivate the churches to identify the businesses that exist in their churches. Identify the businesses and have the congregation and the pastors encourage and support those businesses that exist in the churches. That's what we are emphasizing. Support those businesses that exist in the churches, and let the businesses, then identify those businesses in your community, and let those minority businesses in your community know that you are there as a congregation to give support to them, because if you identify those businesses in the community, in your congregation, then those congregations know about those businesses that exist near you in the community. And they will give, the congregation will give support to those, the members of the congregation will give support to those businesses. And if those businesses are conscious and aware of that, that they can be strengthened if they had a special relationship with the churches. They can do better, they can experience better, they can advance better because they have greater support. A lot of times there are people that are sitting in our congregation who are providing special services and businesses that members are not even aware of the fact that they are providing these businesses and having these services that are right there in their congregation, and they are going outside, going to other sections and other people to get the services done. And there's a possibility there are individuals sitting right there in the congregation that can do a better job in that same situation than you're going out on the outside of the community to get it done. So we come to encourage the churches. I'm going to talk more about the churches coming up, but let me assess something that I know that is. First, let me acknowledge the fact that the Baptist Conference of Christian Education were here with us this past week, and there was a tremendous function and activity. So salute to the president, Renee Johnson, who was the president of the Baptist Conference of Christian Education, who designed and organized this strategy, this plan, and brought, it was approximately, I think she said approximately 20 churches that were involved in this Christian education, Baptist Conference of Christian Education function that took place this past week here at Concord Baptist Church. And they said there were approximately 90 persons involved in the training, 90 persons involved in the training. So it was a great group, and the state night was Monday night, and then I think they had 2 virtual classes, and all the others were on site, and it was a tremendous. And not only they had classes from the youth all the way to the adults, many youth and participation. They on Wednesday night, President Johnson was the speaker, and she brought a tremendous message and challenge to the churches and to the people and to the community. And same basic principles where we need to unify, come together, work together, and help each other. And if we are endowed with the spiritual gifts, then our whole behavior would be a witness to people that we come encounter with in the community, and we can uplift the community by our own behavior and our own action and our own support and our own respect for ourselves and for our fellow man. And on Friday night, they had the Generation Now. That's Generation Now. They start with the young people and the youth and the young at heart. They really performed. Reverend Carter was the preacher from I believe a Community Baptist Church, and it was a tremendous experience with the youth and the young. They had some little children making presentations that were fascinating, and it was very, very, very impressive. So salute to the Baptist Conference of Christian Education of the United Baptist Missionary Convention. President Maddox was there on Monday and through the week. He had to leave. He didn't make it on Friday because of family. He lost some family members. He had to go to their funeral out of state. But he was there every night giving support to this event. And we salute President Maddox for the organization and for the encouragement and for the strategies and for the new strategies that he is presenting to the state of Maryland. Also, as we move to the next stage, as we share with you on this day, it's indeed a blessing to be able to come to you to share with you. Now, something else I need to mention is the fact that on tomorrow, I will be going to the First Abyssinian Baptist Church. I will be speaking there at 10 o'clock a.m. I will not be I will not be speaking here at Concord tomorrow, but I will be at First Abyssinia Baptist Church at 10 a.m. on tomorrow. And I want to talk about the faithfulness of God. God has been faithful to us, and we should praise him and acknowledge the fact that God has been faithful. They are celebrating 95 years. That shows you the faithfulness of God has been to this congregation. 95 years. And the amazing thing about this, it must have been about 95 years that they have been there, and I believe Concord was a group that came out of Union Baptist Church and came to this area where First Abyssinian Baptist Church, and it's this. So I believe the history has it that Concord was part of First Abyssinian Baptist Church, because there is a 7-year period between the origination of Concord and the beginning of Abyssinian, First Abyssinian. Concord become 87 years, so, and this is 95, so about 8 years, 7 or 8 years between these two. And I believe the history will have it that Concord, I think there was a third group that was there, and two groups came together and formed out of that same congregation. First Abyssinia was the first structure, and out of that section, I believe, came Concord with whatever other group that they united with, because the name Concord came, well, coming together, where these two groups come together and formulated Concord. And the reality of the fact that they didn't move too far from where First Abyssinian is set now. Concord existed just 4 or 5 blocks down the street at that time from that location. And it was later on, in 67, I believe it was 67, something like that, when Concord moved here to this location. So we salute First Abyssinia as we share with them on tomorrow. Pastor Anthony, Bishop Anthony Williams is the pastor there, and we salute him, and we appreciate the invitation that he has given to me to come to share with them on tomorrow. So if you are listening, we invite you to come on to First Abyssinia as we give support to the ministries and the services that they are providing in the community there down in Baltimore, in the West Baltimore area. So we thank God for that church and their pastor and their services as we come to them this coming Sunday. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Also, let me maybe start off on something else here as we share today. First of all, let me say this. This is the 13th, I believe, of July, the 13th of July. And there may be many individuals out there who are listening to us today who we want to say happy birthday to those who are celebrating their birthday today on the 13th of July. 13th of July has some special days. It has some special days, and one of the special days that I want to acknowledge, if you were born on that day, it's a special day for you. Happy birthday for the 13th of July. Now, I know as I throw out that 13th of July, your birthday, when you were born, the day that you were born, there's, on the 22nd, there's a special National Parent Day. So remember, the 13th is your birthday, and therefore, on the 22nd, you should have special recognitions for National Parent Day. You ought to understand the role that your parents have played, and first of all, bringing you into the world and allowing and strengthening you, as I was talking about how the effect that my parents had on me. Many of your parents may have had that same type of effect on you. July the 13th, National Delaware Day, National Delaware Day. This is a salute to Delaware because it was the first state to join the Union. Delaware was the first state to join the Union, and this special Delaware Day was just created in 2017 by the National Day of Calendar. They just created this special day on this on 2017 for recognizing the fact that Delaware. So as I speak to Delaware this morning, we want to acknowledge and express and receive the fact that Delaware became the first state of the Union, the first state of the Union. Also, let me recognize this is National Barbershop Museum Appreciation Day. National Barbershop Museum Appreciation Day. You know, in our history, the barbershop had special purpose and special meaning. It was kind of like a gathering place where people gather to have their hair cut, but they be with family members and friends and of the community. It was kind of like another uniting site, similar to the church being the united site. I mean, they were there, and they would sit there and they would discuss ideas, and sometimes it was out of these barbershops was created new businesses where people met each other. When they met each other, and this one was working one kind of business, this one another one, and they unified. They came together and created business together, came out of barbershops. So barbershop have had, so I want to salute the barbershop. This is National Barbershop Museum Appreciation Day. And so, you know, that's what we need to learn to do, to appreciate all of the historical experiences in our lives. And we have had there have been tremendous historical experiences that we have not been taught about. We have not, and one thing that we are going to do on this talk show, we're going to highlight a lot of those experiences in the coming days. We're going to highlight experiences and histories and stories about which we have not acknowledged in the past. We have not had them acknowledged in the past, and we are not going to allow them to be ignored. And that's why I'm throwing out this National Barbershop Museum Appreciation. We appreciate the way they have come together. Now it's time to take a break, and the song is coming, the time to make a change. We are the people, and we can do it. I like this song because it says that it's time for us to really come together and make a change. And we are the people. I have absolute confidence as the pastors of the Baltimore area, as members of the churches of Baltimore, regardless of the denominations. I believe we have the power to be the people to make a difference and bring about a change. We are the people. When they're talking about we are the people, we're talking about all denominations and all churches that believe in the power and the presence of God. Hear the song, We Are the People.
We'll be right back after the song. Thank you.
Yeah.
Kick it for me one time.
What is the world coming to? Seems like everyone is running from the truth.
be around. What we need is a little bit of love, sent by one from heaven up above. Think of it, it's simple and plain. This ain't no game, you know what I'm saying.
I know we can do it.
Here we go.
What do we have to go through it? It's just the test of my faith. We're living day by day. Don't know when, don't know when.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. It's about that time, y'all.
Time to make a change.
That's right.
We are the people who can do it.
We gotta make that change.
Time,
About that time.
time to make a change.
Yep, yeah.
We are your people. We can do it.
We can do it. Here we go.
It's time to make a change.
Okay, welcome back.
Yes.
Yay.
It's time to make a change, and we are the people, and this is no game. That's what it said. Salute to the Winans. They made this song.
Always.
And this song is being played more now, I think, since we've been pushing it, because it's time for us to make a change. The next thing I want to talk about is a date of high aspiration, aims and goals. This is the date of high aspiration, aims and goals that seems impossible to reach. We believe that it is possible, and this is where I want, because we have a young lady who is a co-host who has aspirations, and we want to let her come in right here and talk about, because this is a day of high aspirations, high aims, and believe that we can reach them. It's possible to reach these goals, and we believe that we can reach, do anything that we have the confidence and the faith and the trust and belief that we can do it. And Janie, you hear your illustration of that attitude. You want to talk about it?
Spiritual.
I'm sorry, that was breaking out. What did you say, Dr. Jones? Say that one more time.
Yeah, I said this is a day of high aspiration and determination, aims and goals that seem to be impossible to reach. We believe that we can reach them, and we say you have that personality. You're going to talk about your determination and desire.
Oh, yeah.
This is that day of aspiration, day of high aspiration. Person who believe that they can reach goals that they think that can't be reached.
Yeah, one, that's something that I, pride myself on, and also not even pride myself on achieving things, but that's something that I'm constantly, I think when it comes to achieving goals, I'm constantly a student in that department, because I'm always, trying to learn and, empower myself, better myself, empower my community. I'm always constantly, trying to achieve goals and be ambitious, and just where I am with the things that I've done. I will say, if someone is listening, they're, if this is national, what is it, achievement, or what is it, national ambition,
Aspiration, determination.
Aspiration Day. So for people who have aspirations, I think to achieve anything that you want to do, whatever you aspire to do in life, the first thing is, I do know that God is number one. You have, if you don't have him, then, the journey, I can only imagine how much harder, it would be. And then two, having a support system and surrounding yourself with people, who not only are like you, but people that just believe in you and that will constantly empower you and always share positive energy with you. So having a good support system, and people, let's be clear, some people say, oh, I didn't have a mom, I didn't have a dad, I don't have this, I don't have that. Like, your support system is what you create, and it's the people that you choose to mesh together in your particular world. And I just think those are, God and a support system and the work ethic, right? Because that's the last thing, like I tell my 15-year-old all the time, like, you have these goals and aspirations, but the Bible says in the word of God, this is his word. It says faith without works is dead. So for people who are aspiring to be whatever you want to be, you have to put God first, and you have to put the work in, and just surround yourself with good people. And for me, if I had to think about things, I never aspired to be in the position I'm in now and where I work on a state level and in public service, but I knew that I was a humanitarian and that I would do something to serve people and help people. And that's the positions God has always put me in. Like, I've never had a job that I had to look for or apply for. Like, all my jobs have been like one connection and one blessing after the next. So for those who are listening, happy National Aspiration Day. And someday I aspire to, be a really great individual that, somehow is translated into like a person who came here and spread God's word more in a like in a positive way, and to help people, like to coach them through life. So yeah, that's me.
Yes, and I like the way you started, because you started off with having faith and believing in God. So if you
Yeah.
and the question that is raised in the Gospel of St. Luke, the first chapter, is there anything too hard for God? So if you have faith in God and believe in the power and presence of God, and you have that personal relationship in the indwelling presence of the power of the Holy Spirit, and you're supposed to think that there's absolutely nothing that is impossible for you to do. And you have illustrated that you not only work on the state level, but you also have your own private business. So we want to highlight that. This is where you are working, also demonstrate that you can work for yourself.
No, absolutely. And that's so funny because, like, I was just at this Women's in the Well event not long ago representing my office. And because I'm just, always constantly in the public eye or representing as a public servant, I forget, like, I also, like, when I heard other women in the room and they were talking about the things that they've done and the goals they've accomplished, and shout out to the Women of the Well. It was an event at Center Club in downtown Baltimore. It was an amazing event. It actually was a minute ago, but it closed out Women's History Month. But it was just a really good event. But the moral of the story is that I was there and I heard other people talking about all the things that they had accomplished and their aspirations and where their businesses and companies are going. And after people started speaking, I was like, oh my God, I always forget that. I don't even, I guess that's what makes people humble, but I always forget that I am a business owner. And, God has blessed me to have a business, that has, been able to empower my family and my friends when they, need help and things of that nature. And it's been, going for almost 7 years. And so I'm grateful for that. And, and then I even forget to tell people that I'm like a radio co-host, and I've been doing, radio and television off and on for years, but I just forget to mention those things about myself. So thank you, Dr. Jones, for shouting that out. But I think I thank you for being a mentor, because you are absolutely the epitome of someone who, accomplishes the things that they aspire to do. And so happy National Aspiration Day to you as well, because you are, a great, not only, a pastor, and, you lead your flock and you do so many things in your community, but you're also a business owner, and on different levels, you care for people, you have real estate. So those things are major accomplishments and investments that you've done. I think that's a big deal. So thank you for, just always sharing with us.
Yeah, this is also the day, the reason why the Aspiration Day, this is the date that they declared, go west, young man, go west. However, we are delighted to be here in the East. But that is, this is the day that the concept, your aspiration to go west, young man, go west. Also, as we continue to share on this day, we want to, this day, and I need you to hear this real clearly, because it has really special meaning to us. It's illustrated to us, and it's impacting us even at this moment. This is Thurgood Marshall was nominated as a justice to the United States Supreme Court by Lyndon B. Johnson on this day. Thurgood Marshall was nominated to the Supreme Court and become the first African-American member of the Supreme Court. And it was Thurgood Marshall then were involved in providing legal action and legal positions and that affected our communities and affected us for years. And it's been illustrated even at this moment, the impact that the Supreme Court can have on our lives and on our situation. allow me to highlight the impact that the Supreme Court had on the lives at this time of the women of our nation, and how the women of our nation, regardless of the party, is reacting to the action of the Supreme Court and what they have done and how it is affecting the lives of many individuals, many women. They have to go to such extreme. It's not only affecting the women, it's affecting the role that the doctors can play in helping and protecting and keeping women safe. You know, it is a disastrous situation that the nation is facing, and if the women, woman is part of man, woman, part of man, that means all of us are affected, not just the women. If the women cannot be affected by themselves, if all of what the effect that it has on them going to impact all of us, male and female, young and old, all of us are being affected. So we need to understand that. We can't say, well, I'm not being, but you are. The women can't be affected without you being affected. You wouldn't have been able, you wouldn't even be here in the world if it wasn't for a woman. You were born by a woman. The only way that you could be here is that a woman gave birth to you. And we want to salute the women, salute the impact that the Supreme Court is doing on the women. Now, also, the other thing that I want to mention, I also need to mention the fact that I better do this right now, I may forget it, that is the National Baptist Convention. The National Baptist Convention is coming to Baltimore. They're going to be at September the 2nd through the 5th. That's the national. Now, this is the National Baptist Convention. It generally has been recognized as the largest black organization in the country. And the National Baptist Convention, they celebrate the 144th annual session. The 144th annual session is coming to Baltimore. President Young, Jerry Young, will be coming to Baltimore. We thank God for him. We thank God for the services. And they are individuals. This is the year that a new president will be selected. And that's amazing. I was born in the state where the first president was selected. And here I am living in the state where the next president will be selected. It's amazing how God tie all that together in our lives. And there's a whole lot of stuff I can tell you how God has tied together. The first church I pastored was pastored by a guy. The second church that I pastored in Richmond was actually the third church that I pastored in Richmond, Greater Mount Moriah in Richmond. The pastor that was before me became pastor there before I was born. He came from Arkansas and became pastor there before I was born and stayed there until I was born and went to other states, Chicago and all these other places, and arrived there, happened to became the pastor of the church that he had been pastor for 40 years. And so the Lord is amazing, but it's even more amazing than that. The church that he was pastoring was mostly organized and founded by Reverend White, which is the founder of this church. So it's amazing how not only did I follow the pastor from Arkansas, but the founder of that church that the pastor was in Arkansas also was the founder of this church where I end up here. God is so amazing. So we are going to be celebrating the National Baptist.
It's definitely amazing. Every time you tell that story, Dr. Jones, I love that story because I can't believe it. When we talked about your founders wall, at the church. That's really profound that God had orchestrated that in your life. I think that that's always a good note.
And I've been asked to come to the original place where Concord first exists, First Abyssinian Baptist Church here in West Baltimore, to preach tomorrow. So this way is amazing how the Lord tie all that stuff together. So we celebrate that as we come to this day that we want to encourage. I also want to say a word or two about JLK Enterprise, my own business, 601 Aldershot Road, Baltimore, Maryland. JLK Enterprise, home again too. We do have, it's in Baltimore County, right there. Matter of fact, it's two lots together. One of the lots is in the city. So it's in, actually then I can say this location is in both the city and the county. And we are encouraging individuals that we may need work. I am looking at individuals. We do train. We thank God for Ann Sacker, our delegated nurse there, who she does training in just about all of the areas that you need to be trained in order to be working in assisted living facility. Even the med tech, they teach all of the training, all of the certificates. In assisted living, there's about 9 different certificates that you have to have in order to work in the assisted living facility. And then the med tech, in order to be able to disperse medication, you have to be a med tech. And therefore, she does those kind of training as well. So those individuals who need that training, we are encouraging you to just talk with us, and we will be able to work with you and help you. There may be individuals who want to start their own assisted living facilities. We have all of the documents, all of the guidelines, all of the principles, all of the instructions that are needed to assist you in starting your own assisted living. And I thank God for Ramona Jones McLean, my daughter. I thought to have her on the show today because there have been individuals that I've been talking to who are interested in daycare, and Ramona has already set up the structure and the information and the guidelines and the principles and the steps that is needed to have a daycare. Matter of fact, she has an operation going on right now, and I was making arrangements for persons who had asked me about a daycare for her to be able to share with them, but we had a complication and outlined at a time that we could meet. But Ramona, my daughter, has got all of the regulations and all of the guidelines for setting up daycare services. So those persons who, in other words, we have individuals that are working with who just about in all other businesses as well. We have electricians, we have carpenters, we have all of these areas that are working directly with me in businesses, that individuals who might want to be trained in those areas, is it very imperative that, they just call 410-367-1117 and let Roxanne know that you want to be trained in those areas. It's 410-367-1117. And those things will be available. Alice Penderhughes is our attorney. We salute Alice Penderhughes. We all know the Penderhughes. She has been working with Concord and with me for several years, and I salute to her. She's been on the show where she has talked to people about her availability, Alice Penderhughes. And so if you need an attorney to work out some of the details, your licensing, your incorporation, your LLC, if you need an attorney, just let us know. We can hook you up with Alice Penderhughes, and she is available to assist with you where attorney is needed. So we have to support each other, help each other, and help each other to work together. Out of my assisted living, I've had two at least 2 managers who worked for several years as manager have now working in the hospital. Have been, during that period of time they're working, we allowed them to go to school, to go become a nurse. They're a registered nurse now, and they're working in hospitals. And they come by periodically. They call me all the time. We still have a relationship with those individuals who grew up in my facility, worked in my facility. Some of them worked more than 10 years before they finished their nursing training, and are now in the hospitals working. So what am I saying this? I'm saying this to let you know that we are here to give support to you, those who have interest in whatever area of interest of businesses you want. Because one of the things that we emphasize is the necessity to have industrial art in elementary school. Have industrial arts are being promoted in elementary schools has helped because I sincerely believe that God has given everybody some kind of gift. You know, everybody does not have the same gift, but everybody has some kind of gift that God has given them. And if we can help children identify that gift early, then it fixes so that they won't get involved in negative stuff. Because God-given gifts is not a negative, it's a positive. And therefore, if we help them to get acquainted with the God-given gift that they have, a God-given gift. If you were born, your birth was not an accident. Your birth was given by God, and therefore it's come with a special gift from God. And therefore, we are encouraging all our businesses to join in with us, so that we can do what we know that we should be done. Now, the National Baptist Convention is coming here in September, but this is what I want to do. I want to invite, now the 31st of August is the Saturday before the first Sunday. Sunday is the first. So I want our state president to be host on our show. I haven't talked to him yet, but I'm going to talk to him. The convention is coming into town, and on that Saturday before the convention, we want to invite our state president, Maddox, to be on our show to talk about the convention that will be coming into town the next couple of days. That'll be the 31st of August. At 11 o'clock, we're asking the state president. But not only we are doing that, we want September to be a pastor's month. We want to sign up each Saturday a different pastor that's going to be on the talk show telling us about the role that they're going to play. This is what we are projecting coming. Now, we will be talking about the CFO also the rest of this month. The CFO, the Chief Financial Officer, that we want to be involved. I was called from Memphis a couple of days ago. They asked me about what role that they could play. I was contacted from Richmond, what role that they could play as CFO in their city. So we want to promote that there will be a CFO, Chief Financial Officer, that will coordinate and list all of the black businesses for any organization coming to town. That organization will have the list of black businesses to send to their people who are coming to town, to let them know that these black businesses are available for them to have services with them. So we want to do that. And as time run out, let me also highlight the fact that a couple of things. We still can accept individuals, and we have a few more weeks in our summer camp. The summer camp will run till August the 9th. So if we have more than 30 children in it at the moment. But if there are children who would like to be in the summer camp, we encourage you to sign up. Come on in, because it will resume services on Monday, and then we go through the 9th of August. So be sure. And however, in September, the development of a square school. So those children that are in the summer camp program, we want you to know the development of the square school will resume in September. Where the development of the square has 4 areas of focus: education, recreation, economics, and spirituality. And they are focusing special training on those 4 areas of life that makes a person wholesome and whole. And that's what the development of the square is about, making person. This is a little book that I put together that give guidelines to each one of these areas, the approach to use to teach each one of these areas to affect their lives. You know, you're teaching elementary school kids economics, and this just lets them know the basic principle. But you know, spirituality is the foundation of all of these areas that we're focusing on. So we want to emphasize that spirituality and how, and then there's a special approach we have in the book about how to do education. It's not just reading, writing, and arithmetic. It's also psychology and sociology and other aspects of that is essential in education. So, and that is also written in the book, and how to approach those, especially when environmental circumstances are different. There has to be a special approach to teach children when the environment of the child is so much different from the principles that you're trying to teach. So you don't criticize and condemn that environment. You should help them to understand there's an environment difference that is in the public than in the private. So we want to thank God for this day, and my time is about up. My special host,
Yep, I was here. Thank you. Had a great time today. Thank you for allowing me to commute in. This is sports season for AAU for these teens right now. So anybody who's a sports mom or sports parent, you know that this is a time where we're just busier than we've ever been during the course of the year with this AAU sports. So thank you, Dr. Jones, for allowing me to dial in. Thank you, RadioOne. Shout out to Kathy Hughes for always giving us this platform. And thank you. Yeah, and you can listen to 106.1 Praise FM, one of RadioOne's favorite stations. And I know a place, Dr. Jones. Yeah, and I'll take you there.
All right.
Have a good day. Bye.
Happy Saturday.
I know a place. Ain't nobody crying.
This show is sponsored by Concord Baptist Church.